This is Wickham Sound.
Hello everyone, you're listening to The Art Show on 106.6 FM Wickham Sound. I'm your host, Dane Cobain. This is the weekly radio show where we chat about the local arts news. We have a different guest on each week. We play local, unsigned and independent music. And what else do we do? We have a review from Twangling Jack Ford over in the Ilk Shed as well. So as I say, my name is Dane Cobain. You can reach out to me here at the studio by emailing dane.cobain@wickhamsound.org.uk. That's dane.cobain@wickhamsound.org.uk. I particularly want to hear from poets, musicians, performers, anyone who might make a good guest for the show, anyone with any events news they'd like to share, and also poets, musicians, anyone with MP3s and that kind of thing. You can also find us on Facebook. If you search for The Art Show on Wickham Sound, you should be able to find it. And we're repeated here on Monday nights on Wickham Sound, and you can listen on demand on the Wickham Sound Listen Again on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts. So, we're going to go straight into the Rhylight Zone with some poetry. These are some of my poems. I can't remember which set I'm sharing with you guys, but I'll say it at the beginning, probably.
Anxious words. Idiom. She has a rugged carapace and the redundancies of superlatives and the intractability of serendipity, stifled by the latency of others and entombed by the holy ziggurat, with a penchant for disorderly madness broken with a kick from the dipstick. Her name is a dirty rhombus, the number plate of a Nissan Leaf or a pinwheel in the sky, the clement climate of a small constituency bringing the lingo back from bingo and the irony of the ironing and the jugular of the juggler and the seasoning of the spring. Falling in love is because when you find someone to have and to hold, don't trade them for silver, don't trade them for gold, they will always inevitably leave you, leaving no one else in the world who's quite like them. Sometimes the world is so delicious, the world is the word is the world. Memorize this. Please, one day your hands will be stained old and grey, your hair and teeth rotten or vanished altogether, and you will remember this time when you were munching on a lunchbox, and all around the hum of machines mining data, a full extrapolation of all of your possible futures. Every time you miss a beat, a kitten dies in a car crash. Every false intonation is the birth of a nation, is a prophetic fallacy to be stored and saved by the Ministry of Magic. Memorize. It's more important than your passwords, your bank details and your NI number combined. It's dangerous to go alone, so take this poem, may it serve you well. Stentorious, sans serif and spectacular. CGN Society. She sat down heavily, lit the wrong end of her cigarette and sighed. I'm wasted right now, she said, and my life is a train wreck, and if my parents could see me, they'd be ashamed. She passed out and I left her lying there in a pool of her own vomit so I could get as drunk as she was. There's no such thing as a gentleman anymore, just men and women stumbling through life in the same way they always have. Welcome to society, our capitalistic, gender-neutral society. We are all equal in our misery.
Okay, those were some poems by myself, Dane Cobain, and this is one of my songs, Something in the Water. Normally it's not so much of me, but apparently today it's the Dane Cobain show. We normally joke it's the Twangling Jack Ford show, so, you know, could be worse.
Time's a great healer, or so they say, and life's too short for dreaming, but the dreams keep the nightmares at bay. Darling, please don't forget me until I've gone away. Those baby blue eyes are your only disguise, and I wish they could hide when you're lying. Is there something in the water, or is it the moonlight? I don't want to be the one who breaks your heart. And if you can forgive me, at least pretend to forget me. someone to hold me, want someone to love me like I loved you, the way that I loved you, the way that I loved you. Some call me bitter, some call me sweet. I think I get lost in the middle, 'cause I'm somewhere in between. Darling, swear you'll forgive me for everything I done wrong. I think that I'm fine, I'm just wasting my time, but I'm losing my mind. So don't try to find it. Is there something in the water, or is it the moonlight? I don't wanna be the one who breaks your heart. And if you can forgive me, at least pretend to forget me. Want someone to hold me, want someone to love me like I love you, the way that I loved you, the way that I loved you. the way that I loved you. The stars alone again, the stars alone again, in a formless optic place. A dance through sonic haze, a dance through sonic haze. My love and innocence, my love, my love. My love and innocence, my love, my love. My love and innocence, my love, my love. My love and innocence, my love, my
Okay, that was a track by Psychopomp, and before that we had Something in the Water by myself, Dane Cobain. You're listening to The Art Show on 106.6 FM Wickham Sound, and we're here in conversation with Psychopomp.
So, what was the last book that you read, and what did you think of it?
The last book I read was oh god, who's that SAS dude? A motivational book. It's really good. It's sort of like saying about he grew up in France and now he got through situations of not being able to speak the language at first and going to school. It was good. It was good. And I'm listening to Gene Simmons' audiobook at the minute, which again is interesting and very straight to the point. So yeah.
Cool. Does he read that himself?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
Oh, cool. I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's good. Sorry, Paul Stanley. I get the Kiss Boys muddled up. He wouldn't be happy.
And I've been I've reread No Country for Old Men by Cormac McCarthy, who I love. Absolutely brilliant, really dark cowboy book. Although No Country for Old Men, there's a film of that as well.
Yeah,
it's a little bit more up to date, recent times than most of his books, but yeah.
Awesome. Cool. And so obviously mostly I want to talk about the band today. I wondered if you could sort of introduce the band, tell us who's in the band and what they do. So you can start with you guys and then let us know who else is in there.
So I'm Reg and I sing and make strange noises, not from the body. but, well, that as well. But yeah, I make sound effects, do samples and stuff, as well as my hideous voice.
It's not hideous.
It's cool.
Ryan.
Ryan, what do you do?
Right, I'm Ryan. I play drums and do backing vocals with Reg, and yeah, make lots of noise and keep them all in time. And play bad guitar for the purpose of writing songs. So yeah.
Cool. And who else is in the band?
We got Rob Prescott, who plays guitar and does backing vocals, and we've got Tom Smithers, who plays bass and backing vocals. And yeah, so yeah, Tom was the last person to join the missing.
Yeah, he's really improved us. He's a fantastic bass player.
It just like when you come in the room, it was like everyone went upper level, and I was kind of going to invoke my rule whenever I'm involved in an audition with a bass player. And if no one agrees with me, and if I think someone's brilliant, I'll say I've got 2 votes because the person's part of the rhythm section. But if anyone had disagreed with me with Tom, I'd have said I've got 1,000 votes. It's good.
Yeah.
Good lad.
Cool. And how would you describe your sound?
Our sound, our sound it's kind of like cowboys on motorbikes riding through a tunnel in the desert.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, just
yeah, it's generally loud, but with some nice quiet bits and interesting melodies. It's very difficult to put. Everyone says it's very difficult to put a name to the genre.
It's kind of like the plan at the start kind of was to not be able to pigeonhole it. And like the thing we can, like, as musicians, we can move in any direction we want, because we're lucky we've got Reg, who's got such a good strong voice, and he pulls songs together. So I'll
let you carry on here.
Yeah. We just go off on a tangent, and it just becomes Psychopomp, whatever.
Yeah. Whatever style we're doing, then we try and make it our own. Rather than, so although it's different styles, they sound like us.
Yeah. And
cool.
That's really vague. but
we you can't pigeonhole it, which is the aim of it.
Yeah, for sure. And so, Ryan, you mentioned that you pick up the guitar when you're doing some of the songwriting. Yeah. What does the songwriting process look for you as a band? How do you go about crafting music?
Someone comes on with an idea, and it's pretty much all done ad lib. So they start playing the idea. If we like it, we say yeah, and we all put our own signal to it.
We've got kind of like a backlog of ideas, because it's kind of like if someone writes individually, and then we'll record it and throw it up on to the rest of the band. But it's kind of like if someone's just tuning the guitar up or something, so what's that? That's brilliant. And then we'll come up with it, and it just kind of works like that, because we're so prolific in the songwriting. We've just got loads and loads of ideas we've got to go back on and catch up and finish.
And we've got about, I say, 5 or 6 new songs that are in waiting. But after COVID, of course, we've been getting back used to playing the songs that we used to and introducing them bit by bit.
Yeah. And I was going to ask you about COVID. Like, how did that affect you guys? Were you able to do anything sort of during the lockdowns? Were you able to collaborate online or anything? Or was it a case of everything kind of ground into a halt?
We didn't do that, but we got in between the lockdowns, and we managed to get some rehearsals. I had to stand outside the room and sing because I'm a bit immunosuppressed. Yeah. So it was quite a laugh, but yeah. But we did that. That's when we got the new songs written.
It was literally I like at the start of lockdown, I was like writing 1 billion songs a day. I was like just coming up with these ideas, and between the lockdowns when we rehearsed, it was sort of like we just come up with loads and loads of, like, Reg had loads of lyrics, and everyone, we just like all this flurry of songs just came that we had to run with. So, and they're sort of like we're working on them slowly now, sort of getting them to where they should be, which is really exciting. But
we usually, the lyrics usually last. Sort of dum-de-dum-de-dum for the lyric when I'm singing along to what the ideas are, and then we get a tune worked out, and then I'll fit a lyric that I've already got, and it may need amending and all that sort of thing. But generally, I have something that I've written that will fit.
Cool. Awesome. And I'm guessing now you've been able to, obviously, with the restrictions lifting, you've been able to get to practice and whatnot together again. Have you been able to do any live shows recently as well?
We did one a couple of weeks ago, and we've got one on Saturday at the Face Bar in Reading. But it was kind of funny because it was Tom's first gig with us.
Right, yeah.
Tom joined ages ago. So it's kind of like Tom joined literally as weeks before the lockdown.
Yeah.
And we were meant to be doing the gig that we're doing on Saturday. And so it all got cancelled. And so, it's sort of like we got really tight and really fingered in with Tom. And it was really weird saying, no, we've got a different member on stage now. This is Tom.
Yeah.
Man forever. So, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be Saturday the 6th. So it'll be gone. Will have passed.
Yeah. Cool. And what are some of your favourite venues to play at?
My favourite venue is the Rising Sun Arts Centre.
Same as, yeah.
That's like a really good independent DIY venue. It's just like a big front room, and it's sort of run by just really cool people, and it's just a really, really good sweaty vibe in there.
It's a really, really small place.
Yeah, it's really small and
run by great people who have to get what do you call it? They have to get donations to keep going, basically.
But it's like a completely 100% independent punk rock, as in way they operate venue, and it's a magical place. It's magical.
Yeah.
And I can't remember. There's one in Kingston as well. I really like a little. Oh God, I've forgotten it. There's a brilliant little backroom pub in Kingston with a little stage in the corner that no one can fit on. And again, it's just a nice sweaty venue. And you can't, you have to park in this car park and carry all your gear because there's no parking as such. And the Beehive and Bow as well is I think that's the smallest venue in the world. It holds about 3 people, but it's brilliant.
That's in where is it?
Bow, in just underneath the Square Mile in London. You can see all the
sorry, and we were supposed to be doing a gig there as well before lockdown.
We should be playing in March. We should be playing there.
Oh, really? Oh, news to me, yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You're listening to The Art Show on 106.6 FM Wickham Sound. I'm your host, Dane Cobain. We're here in conversation with Psychopomp, and this is another one of their tunes. That was some music by Psychopomp. You're listening to The Art Show on 106.6 FM Wickham Sound. I'm your host, Dane Cobain, and I'm here in conversation with the band themselves, Psychopomp.
Cool. And another thing I wanted to ask about, because basically I guess I heard of you guys through Ash and Lisa from Physiology Productions, who are doing, they've been doing some like documentary filmmaking and whatnot.
Yeah.
And they said they're going to be using some of your music in there. I wondered how that came about, and what does it feel like to sort of, I guess, to know that your music's going to be used in a film as opposed to it just being, you know, live and on record.
Yeah, well, let's just say, that we knew through a third party someone who's involved,
and of course the subject matter of what we're being involved in is kind of close to our hearts, and for me personally, it was a no-brainer to include our music in it, because just to be part of something like that, if it can, you know, if someone's watching it or something and it helps that person that's watching it, it's just a whole load of reasons that we probably wouldn't include our music usually.
I think you and I, Ryan, have got, I have to say, we both had problems. Mental health problems.
Mental health issues. I mean, for me personally, I kind of realised in January 2012 that I've been feeling like this all my life, and I just thought it was how everyone felt. And so I started my journey to recovery, or getting myself or my issues under control then. And so it's been a strange, interesting journey. I've met some really cool people through it, and it's just if for me, if we're involved in it and it helps someone by watching it, that's brilliant. And because I don't know about Reg, but I want to give something back to it, because I've had so much help from other people and groups and everything, and it's good just to give back. So like you say, it was a no-brainer, wasn't it, for you and me straight away? It's like, let's do it. Yeah, it's great. It's a great idea. Yeah. And we hope they do really well with the series.
Yeah. And obviously, sort of during the pandemic, you know, mental health's been a big topic during that in particular, because a lot of isolation and, you know, people kind of rely on friends and family as support networks and stuff. And I was wondering, my question in general was going to be how you think live music can help us to recover from, you know, a pandemic. But I suppose part of that is sort of the mental health benefits of going to a gig and listening to loud music and having a bit of a dance and socializing.
Yeah, for sure. It's a shame that more people don't realise that live music is the best. And there's nothing that it's continually difficult for, especially a local band, to get crowds along, and we have to work really hard on it.
Yes. But I mean, you really think about it. Live music goes way back, you know, traveling musicians, you know, hundreds of years ago, going about telling their stories and everything. And it's just a great way for people to connect and meet up and, just feel the music going through you. My first sort of gig back was Reading Festival. And I just remember just walking around as the sun come down, just think, oh, this is great.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just good. It's just good to, and I mean, it's to catch up with your gig friends, because I've got friends I sort of only see at gigs or whatever, and just to see those people and just to be out seeing musicians again, and like when we play, just to have those. I mean, for me, just having stupid drummer chats about equipment and everything, I miss that, and it's just good to look back at it. So yeah.
Well, you know, it's one of the beauties of life. Listen to loud music, same as looking at paintings, looking at it, and it's so. Oh, what's the word? It's so.
It's like it's a complete abstract music, and it's kind of like it's to me, it's the most accessible art form. It can mean you can only like look at your favorite painting a few times, or watch your favorite film, or read your favorite book. Your favorite songs, they're like time machines. You know, they can pull you back to a situation, or help you look forward to something. And it's just a crazy, beautiful art form, music that is kind of underappreciated, I think, now. It's
yeah, definitely. People don't go out so much. We all know that people don't go out so much, various reasons.
Yeah,
and I'm not talking about COVID. They just, for years and years, people don't go to live gigs as much as they used to.
Yeah,
and we know that because we're old.
But no, it's just sort of like seeing music, seeing a band. It can be a life-changing, life-affirming moment, and everyone sort of got that best gig they've been to, that moment when they kind of realise, wow, this is it. This is what I want to be. This is me. You know, I feel whole standing here, complete around all these people. Yeah. So
there's nothing like a good gig.
And mentioning there that you know, everybody's got those great gigs that they've been to. What would you say some of the best gigs that you've been to?
Me personally, the best gig I ever went to was the Alarm at the Southampton Gaumont, Wednesday the 18th of December 1985. That was just wow, and nothing surpassed that. And New Model Army at Reading Festival 1986. That was another massive just see, whoa. The Cure, The Mission,
Killing Joke, fantastic live band.
Yeah, it's just
Nick Cave,
Mark Laney.
Live is a beautiful thing. Live,
yeah, it's just loads and loads of different things. But yeah, for me, it was definitely like the Alarm or New Model Army or something. It's just it was just, again, I think it was just like being 14, 15 years old. It's just
yeah. And again, like you say, the Reading festivals, especially say the 80s, early 80s.
79 for you when you saw The Cure.
Well, yeah. I'm trying to pretend I'm younger.
Oh no, sorry. But
it's a good job. It's a good job they're not showing the video.
Yeah. Cool. And I wanted to ask about your name. So, what does the name Psychopomp mean, and where did it come from?
Rob put it towards us, give it to us. Psychopomp is the entity that takes you to the next world. So kind of
it looks after you in your progress to the next life.
So,
and that is a Psychopomp.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. So just a couple of questions just to end on. So one that I want to ask you guys is like, what makes for a good gig for you? How do you know when one of your gigs has been a big success?
We know. I say pretty much they always have been.
Yeah, it's just kind of like we just like
if you've had a good sound on stage for you. And I think a lot of people don't realise that the band on stage doesn't hear what they're hearing out the front. You know, what we hear on stage is very different because we have to be able to hear each other clearly. So this is why you see those speakers at the front of the stage called monitors, and that's what we hear from.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of like, it's just the racket, just the energy coming from us, and if we're picking the energy up back from the people watching us, and it's just a magical experience when it's like you're surfing and you're on the top of that wave and you're going along and you just feel complete and nothing else matters in life, and you're just in that moment with your four best friends and everyone's connecting. It's quite an intimate thing between people sort of playing music. It's good. Yeah.
And I guess as well, sort of talking about that energy, you can kind of tell. So, you know, if the band's having a good time, it comes across to the audience.
For sure.
Yeah.
I've always said that watching other people, if you see that they're enjoying it, it actually sounds better.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, it's kind of not people jumping about. You just sort of see the white, you sort of see the look in people's eyes and everything. They're just, the last gig we did, you could sort of see everyone looking at us and everything. They're sort of looking at what people were doing. And everyone's sort of concentrating on Reg, because it's like, it's such a good front man. It's such a, gives out his energy. And yeah, it's good.
And then I paid them afterwards.
Yeah.
And just one last question to end up, where it's kind of two in one, but what's next for you guys, and where can people follow you to find out more?
Next for me, I've got to have a hip replacement. So this is almost certainly the last gig we're doing till the new year.
Yeah.
And it may be sort of March time. So
we're kind of putting live on hold for a little, because we're moving into a new studio. We got our marching orders from our old studio, so we found a new studio, and so we're set
rehearsal studio
at the minute, and we've got a new EP out in March. I think March, April. That's going to come out. We've just got the master tapes back from that.
Yeah.
And
so we'll be working on that for the next. We're thinking about where to put it. We probably want to put it on Spotify, on SoundCloud, YouTube, and probably a CD as well.
Yeah. We'll be doing a video as well for the main. So there's lots of behind the scenes stuff going on at the minute, getting stuff ready. And we recorded the single with Smiley, who's is a drummer over in Fleet. He's played with everyone from Robbie Williams to Joe Strummer, and he's like he's just a genius producer. It's just, he can grab the best out of us. We'll work with him. I've worked with Smiley for quite a few years now, and he will just grab the best performance out of us ever. So it's like that.
Yeah, we've got a very good. We got someone who we just happened upon at a street market. Who does fantastic artwork for us, and Simon Turner.
Yeah, Simon Turner.
Yeah, I want to get his name right. Simon Turner, but he's fantastic, and he's very fair with his prices and stuff. We're helping each other out, basically.
Yeah. That's the good thing, because it's like a little network, a little community. We're all helping each other out. And at the minute, we can be found on Facebook, Psychopomp on Facebook. We've not got our act together and got the website and the YouTubes and
if you're looking on Facebook for it, there's another Psychopomp somewhere or other.
Yeah.
But we've got two capital P's in ours.
Yeah.
So that'll be us. And the ones with good artwork.
Yeah. Big thank you to Psychopomp for joining me. You're listening to The Art Show on 106.6 FM Wickham Sound. I'm your host, Dane Cobain, and this is Colin Upfield with Mona Lisa Smile.
I could see, but they don't do the things you do to me. When you're hanging on the wall, the others might as well not be there at all. Though I know you're flawed in parts, to me you're a work of art. When I look into your eyes, it's like looking at the night sky. When I look into your face, greatest thing by miles is looking at your Mona Lisa smile. Looking at your Mona Lisa smile. I know we've had our ups and downs. I know at times I'm a pain to have around, but our love is strong enough to take the smooth with the rough. I know at times it's wasting by miles is looking at your Mona Lisa, looking at your Mona Lisa, looking at your Mona Lisa smile, 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 looking at your Mona Lisa, Mona Lisa smile.
Knocked down outside and in distress. You're not what I am used to. You come from more, I come from there. Somehow we meet in the middle. You try to stand, stumble and fall. Bridges divide between us. Now we both understand the goal. We're all just stuck in the middle. Felt so obsolete. You so indiscreet. We will never meet. Two sides of the same street. Downtrodden and beat. You always on your feet. We will never meet. Two sides of the same street. You had to stop me in my tracks, break down this wall between us, look far away to bring it back, so we're not stuck in the middle. You try to stand, stumble and fall, bridges divide between us. Now we both understand the call, we're all just stuck in the middle. Felt so obsolete. You so indiscreet. We will never meet. Two sides of the same street. Downtrodden and beat. You always on your feet. We will never meet. Two sides of the same street. Knocked down outside and in distress. You're not what I am used to. You came from more, I came from less. Somehow we meet in the middle. Felt so obsolete. You so indiscreet. We will never meet. Two sides of the same street. Downtrodden and beat. You always on your feet. We will never meet. Two sides of the same street.
That was Same Street by Altered Mindset, and before that we had Mona Lisa Smile by Colin Upfield. You're listening to The Art Show on 106.6 FM Wickham Sound. I'm your host Dane Cobain, and we're going to go straight over to the Oak Shed to catch up with Twangling Jack Ford for this week's album review.
No Sleep Till Hammersmith, Motorhead. In the late 70s and early 80s, it was not a night out in London if you did not at some point bump into Lemmy. He was once at a gig I played at the Camden Palace, but only propping up the bar. He was playing Space Invaders in the Embassy Club, and I once took 2 female friends to a party and he went off with both of them. Motorhead were heavy metal for punks. I saw them supporting the Damned at the Roundhouse, and Lemmy once played bass with the Damned. I bought the 12-inch of their first single, the song Motorhead, because it was said to be the loudest single ever pressed. Motorhead, yeah! It was basically a punk version of a song that Lemmy had written for Hawkwind. But there is always that arbitrary classification of genres thing going on. It separates things that are alike because of something as musically irrelevant as haircuts. The ex-Hendrix roadie and singer of Silver Machine, with his long hair and his warty, craggy face, would never be more than an honorary punk. When Motorhead signed to the same label as Uriah Heep, they thoroughly nailed themselves to the heavy metal mask. But if you edit out the guitar solos on No Sleep Till Hammersmith, it could easily be the Ramones. It is frantic and wild, with blistering versions of their better-known songs like Ace of Spades and Bomber. It has the energy of a slightly better recorded version of the MC5's Kick Out the Jams. It is No Sleep Till Hammersmith, a live album by Motorhead.
Big thank you to Twangling Jack Ford for this week's album review. Thank you to Psychopomp for joining me. Thank you to all the artists whose music I've played. As always, you can reach out to me here at the studio on dane.cobain at wickhamsound.org.uk. That's dane.cobain at wickhamsound.org.uk. I particularly want to hear from poets, musicians, performers, anyone with MP3s or anyone who thinks they might make a good guest on the show. You can also find us on Facebook by searching for The Art Show on Wickham Sound. And we're repeated here on Wickham Sound on Monday nights, and you can listen on the Wickham Sound Listen Again on iTunes, Spotify and wherever you get your podcasts. So, with all that said, I'm going to leave you with one last tune. This is Harry Quinn with Hiding from the Truth. I'll see you next week.
How was he to see himself? Shaping better things like he read, filling every frailty with painted air instead. Everyone reminds him of those told tales, summarized by chasing down fame. He channeled to a false stone, and there he could not change. Oh, she's filling up the pages, 'cause she hasn't been the same since he was hiding from the truth. And so she couldn't sit and take it, once enough to tolerate. It's on the words upon the tomb. So why does he back down, do as I do? He's not being funny, that is just the way he is. Convinced that he'll repair it with all his well-worn tricks. He draws back to bite his lip, hopes that's where his courage is, as he sets out to harness the pain to fight his fears. Oh, she's filling up the pages, 'cause she hasn't been the same since he was hiding from the truth. And so she couldn't sit and take it, once enough to tolerate. It's on the words upon the tomb. So why does he back down, do as I do? pages, cause she hasn't been the same since he was hiding from the truth. And so she couldn't sit and take it, was enough to tolerate. It's on the walls upon the tomb.